Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I am once again travelcasting on Rumble and Utizzle and Kick. I might get some viewers over there. I don't know. I think I'm having a resurgence of the crud, too. I don't know. I might be a mosquito out here with Bill Gates written all over it. We'll see. I don't know. So anyway, folks, we got a lot to talk about. Federal X3 accusation methods restored. And, I'll talk about that big time. And we have John Brennan blew his bowels. He's shaking his boots. But anyway, what do? I play videos while people come in and get settled in and get themselves a nice cup of coffee or a cold brouhaha, an adult beverage, whatever is your want. And then we will be like butter and get on a roll.
We have a problem with this rising tide of white supremacy in America. And we have a president who encourages and emboldens it. When he said after Charlottesville, there were, and I quote, very fine people on both sides. I said then it gave license and safe harbor to white supremacists and neo-Nazis and to the Ku Klux Klan. These words not only stunned America, but they stunned the world. And in doing so, he assigned a moral equivalence between those spewing hate and those with the courage to stand against it.
I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter.
Dust on my Bible, flags on the line. You laughed at our warnings, called truth a crime. You sold us your secrets, wrapped up like hope. Signed all our futures with a poison note. You sat in your mansions, we prayed in the rain. You cast every favor on a ledger of pain. You thought you were covered, names on a list, private plain pages you swore don't exist. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. You thought she was certain, thought he was too. Shook hands in the back room, said they'll never break through. You mocked every farmer, every steel-toed boo. Called him crazy and bitter while you buried the proof. Now screens start flashing, whole names, young kids, whole world scrolling through the things y'all did. Digital soldiers from the cornfields to Rome say leave our children alone or we're taking you home. Let's go! Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. From the back roads to the big tall towers, patriots worldwide, this the final hour. You can beg, you can bargain, you can scream, you can hide, but the book's been written and your name's inside. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. Nothing's gonna stop what's already signed. Game over.
Storm zone. Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I do appreciate it. I hope you all are doing great. Let me see who all came here to see me tonight, and I appreciate each and every one of you and everybody watching on Rumble and Kick. I can see Kick chat, so if you want to, I don't know how that works over there, but if you got to pay money to chat, don't worry about it. I don't know if you can comment after. Excuse me. I mentioned when I first went live, I have a resurgence of the crud. This time with a fever, a F-E-V-E-R. But anyway, I'll talk about that in a minute. Hopefully I'll be okay. Darla, nice to see you. Robin, thank you for going to buy me a coffee. I appreciate it. Oh, wait a minute. I got to get my... That reminds me to get my booms ready. You know, I'm trying to do a different method for lining up my intro videos that, you know, kaboom, and also kapow. What do I want to use tonight? Well, I use these, pow, 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 and I use my bullets, boom, pow, 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 pow. So anyway, I play around. I waste everybody's time. Why? But anyway, Lucky, nice to see you. Elva, Tammy's here. Scott's here. Yeah, Scott, there's a lot more than just the, I guess you can use that term now, pew pew squad. Be careful, you know, still got to watch what we put in the chat. So there's more than that. I'll go over it. And I'll use, you know, little twisted words, but you all know what I'm talking about. Hi, Doc. Miss Mendersu, nice to see you. Sissy's here. Cole's here. All right. Nice to see you. We got a lot of people rolling in tonight. That's a wonderful thing. A wonderful thing. John Brennan. Oh, he must not have liked that. His chance to go manipulate the grand jury was yanked out from under his feet. I'm not saying it's for sure. Hi, Bruce, how are you? But I can imagine, I'll put it that way, and I wouldn't be surprised. Benjamin, nice to see you. I wouldn't be surprised. There's Wayne, give me my thumbs up. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of deep state antics, as I've said before, facial recognition or whatever. Jurors get identified. Next thing you know, they got a knock on their door at like, 11 at night. Yeah, just checking to see how you're doing. Everything okay? And then turn around and leave. Gary, how you doing? Ha ha. Nice to see you. Flannel Cheese, nice to see you. Pappy Two Bears. All right, we got a lot of people showing up. So anyway, and plus he I want to talk about that some more. Right, Brett? I want to talk about that some more. Heard the greatest. I'm not the greatest. Heard the latest or the greatest. I don't know. Robert, nice to see you. Let's see. So, if I missed anybody, my dutiful apologies. I didn't mean to do that. So, anyway, they're fuming over the Virginia thing. They're fuming over John Brennan. Let them fume. Got these memes coming out. Here's one to take a picture of and put on your meta page. Here's, don't let your children grow up to be like this, okay? I think he's 20. I think he's 20 years old. Actually, it's a lower court judge that blocked the Virginia redistricting map, and it'll get overturned. They just missed the Cheeto crumbs all over his shirt. But anyway, yeah, when they have all these whack job judges that they judge shop, there's going to be something done about that. Not only the whack job judges, but these attorneys that judge shop. We don't need them in the profession. They don't have our good in mind. Okay, they're gaming the system. They're acting in a deceptive manner. Okay, so anyway, when they get a ruling from somebody named Miss Judge Frimpong, or whatever her name is, from whatever country she's from, a federal judge. You can't defy a federal judge. But now that this thing has come down, actually, it's a lower court judge. Well, which is it? Which is it, you screwballs? So anyway, and, right on cue, I was talking about the Pope. And I said, a lot of people are told that Catholics are supposed to say or consider the Pope to be infallible. Excuse me, I have a sip of water. I tell you, it's a little like a low-grade fever. And I said during my broadcast earlier, I was looking for mosquitoes that, might have a monogram on their back, BG, Bill Gates. I don't know what they're sending out after me. But anyway, hopefully it won't amount to much. So anyway, when was that when I had the crud? That's been a week. And last night I was like, man, something's wrong. So anyway, we got to deal with these damn people. I forgot what I was talking about. The Pope. And I talked about Mother Miriam. So this meme started flying around, and she has a video out why Catholics cannot be compelled to listen to the Pope on heretical issues. It is true that you can't argue with the Pope over every little thing every foggy day. It has to be issues of dogma, But anyway, here this meme went out. She survived Pope Francis, when Vagano didn't, right? So anyway, Mother Miriam, the Pope has given Muslims a prayer room in the Vatican Library. Why would you allow Satan in the Vatican Library? That's insane. And she's a good one to listen to. I know many of you do. Said so in the past. And we'll get into a more deeper talk about things of that nature. If we get anybody in here that wants to argue the matter about, Christian Prince will tell you it's a religion of the devil. The devil. So anyway, I thought that was right on cue, right after I talked about it last night. Right there, CUE. No human being is infallible. Christ took human form. Forget that not. And he did for us. So, I'm just checking to see who else came in. So anyway, she'll lay it out. She'll lay it out there. I had a article yesterday that came out that said Judge Pirro was not going to drop the charges. I want to find it before I put up the latest thing that came out today. If I might have to take my word for it. She said she was still going to pursue charging the Fed. What's his face? Jerome Powell, right? Well, today it came out that they are dropping the charges. Okay. There he is, Mr. Happy. Jeanine Pirro drops criminal probe of Jerome Powell. This is similar to the Brennan debacle, or they tried to make it a debacle, about withdrawing or canceling the subpoenas of Brennan. Make it seem like their case is shaky. Oh, they got rid of Brennan's subpoenas. They don't know what they're doing. They have a weak case. No, it was Joe DeGenova short-circuiting jury tampering. I'll get into that some more. But this here, Jeanine Pirro dropped the criminal charges. Probe of Jerome Powell. Must be, their witch hunt's failing or whatever. The Department of Justice dropping its criminal investigation in the Federal Reserve over Jerome Powell. Yeah. And they leave it at that. Then you got to go to their site. Nobody wants to go there. Nobody does. But the real story is that there are 2 Republican senators that said they would vote for his replacement. I think his name's Walsh. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. If they called off the dogs on Jerome Powell, which means he's leaving next month, May. Okay? And, how you doing, Mr. Kibler? Sparky, nice to see you. So he's got to go. But people say, I thought there was no deals. Nobody walks. There's no deals. Think about it. You think that's all he's done? You think that's all he's been involved in? You think that's all the shenanigans he's been, all the elbows he's rubbed with all kinds of nefarious stuff going on? You can only put somebody in jail for so damn long. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Pick another one later on, but we want him to get his rear end out. And with him, I don't think it's going to be the case with this character here. But by the same token, you can only do the long drop with a short rope once, So you got somebody that's done 20 things. We've seen it. Ted Bundy, he said, give me a little more time. I'll take you to some more bodies. They're like, nah, Nah, we can only zap you once, and we got enough. Okay, goodbye. So, yeah. But you can only put somebody in jail for so many years. So, but he's going to be getting out. That's the good thing. That's the good thing. Now, the federal executions. This is Fox News. I posted the report. The only one I could find on the internet. It happened in December, I believe, of 2020, when Bill Barr lifted the restrictions, went through public notice, went through all the hoops, and expanded the methods. I only found one article, and I posted that. It's in some of my past videos. So Fox News puts up, DOJ brings back firing squad in red as a form of extradition, Department of Justice. Well, it's a lot more than firing squad. Be careful what you put in the chats. Just in, the DOJ is bringing back firing squads for federal executions. The Justice Department says it's expanding how they can be carried out after ending the Biden era pause. They couldn't remove the other methods, so they paused the entire federal execution program. Well, it's been unpaused, including the return of firing squads and lethal injections. The prior administration failed in its duty to protect the American people by refusing to pursue and carry out the ultimate punishment against the most dangerous criminals. Under President Trump's leadership, the Department of Justice is once again enforcing the law and standing with the victims. And, oh boy, did that contribute to Brennan's meltdown? I don't want to speculate too much, but what's the timing of this? Why did it take this long? Maybe they wanted to do it at this time. Maybe they thought it would have been a public perception problem, a football for the media to try to kick around and distort the meaning behind it. I don't know. Did it have something to do with Pam Bondi? Did she drag her feet? Is that another reason why? No, she should still be there. Okay? I don't know. But it's back. But the article I posted, maybe you'll find more, about Bill Barr doing it just before he walked out the door of the Trump administration. I think it was his last official act, or daggone near to it, was signing off on it. Hi, Tom. How you doing? You get, I don't think you get a choice, but it's going to be gas chambers, okay? Old Sparky. All methods we've used in the past. The Pew Pew Squad, that's 3. The injection, that's 4. Old Sparky, that's 5. And I don't think I'm leaving it. Oh, yeah. The rope. That's 6. So, which is, really the predominant traditional way of taking care of people, because you don't waste electricity, you don't waste a bullet, you don't waste, have everybody stand around waiting for a doctor, to say, well, I don't feel right about this. Whatever. You just pull the lever and the trap door opens and there you go. Let's get lunch. So, anyway, it's more than one way of doing it. Now, Brennan, out of the blue, blows his bowels. And I think that they had, hey, we all could be wrong, right? It's like CUE said, nobody's perfect, right? I could be wrong. But I bet they were planning their appearance in front of the grand jury. And, that is technical work. That is top level psychological warfare when you're going to go in and get to plead your case in front of a grand jury. Nobody gets to do that. There may be rare exceptions, but who was behind that? Joe DeGenova trash bailed it the minute he came in office, or very close to. And they're going to track him down. Who would give that thug the opportunity to interact with a grand jury that's supposed to be secret? Their deliberations, the stuff presented before them. Who did that? But anyway, I guarantee you that was in their playbook for a while, maybe a couple of weeks or whatever. And they had started compiling words that they could use and scenarios. It's basically saying, okay, a grand jury hears evidence and decides, is there enough here to indict? It's not for a criminal or a alleged criminal to go in there and plead their case or to influence the jury in any way. So it's going to be very interesting to look for some little side stuff down the road as to who is involved in that happening. I'm sure they were drooling at the chance. Okay? And DeGenova just took it right out from under their feet. So, kaboom, here comes Brennan. Mr. Happy, and we had two Mr. Happies, Jerome Powell and John Brennan says, I tend to believe Iran more than I do Donald Trump because he's a liar. How close is he to crossing a line with that kind of talk towards a sitting president during an armed conflict with American service people in harm's way? I don't know. But what would be the purpose of this? Oh, Trump's after him just because Brennan disagrees with him, disagrees with the policies. He went on to babble. There's a toxic, he's got this cross between a gay and egalitarian accent. I don't know. You have to listen to him. To me, he's just an old mad gay. But others may disagree, and maybe he's not. There's a toxic mix of traits that Donald Trump has, which is he's a pathological liar. He's incompetent on so many fronts. Well, your ass is gone, and you can't shine his shoes, and you're getting ready to get indicted. And all your little bones are going to get dug up and thrown right there at your feet. And he's also deeply corrupt. Now, that is actionable. He's not a member of Congress. He's not on the floor of the House. He doesn't have any debate clause exclusions. But yeah, Trump's just going to let him blow his cork. He's deeply corrupt, which I think is now being manifested in terms of the Gulf War. Guess what I've been seeing in comments? Hi, Mac, how you doing? Mountain, how you doing? Guess what I've been seeing in comments? I told you it was a narrative they were going to build up, and I saw it first on a Russian site. that Trump is manipulating the war for purposes of playing the stock market. Remember that, folks? I said keep an eye out for it. Watch it. Watch it. That's how they build narratives. Former CIA Director John Brennan calls Trump dishonest, incompetent, and corrupt. Criticizes handling of Gulf conflict. Well, I don't think Trump should do anything. And he's patient right now. He's in patient mode. All right? He's letting the Justice Department handle it. And it may be passed on to, since he was director of CIA, that's kind of a hybrid thing. It's not supposed to be involved with the military. But, yeah, might be a military commission. Okay. Hi, Melinda. How you doing? So, so he's putting some pretty strong stuff out there. And you don't talk like that. You don't talk like that publicly. Throw out those kind of heavy slurs if you're not scared. You know whatless. And I believe that's what he is. He is he's swinging for the fences. Stick a pig and watch him squeal. That's what I used to say. Yeah. Stick a pig and watch him squeal. So anyway, I played that first video about Joe Biden because of the disclosures about Southern Poverty Law Center. That's the tip of the iceberg. All of these groups are involved with getting money from supporters, the government, via NGO connections like USAID, and using it for a political machine and to build a narrative. And I believe it's going to be proven that the narratives are criminal in nature. Okay? That it is a conspiracy. If you go back to the beginning of the video and listen to Biden, he said, what Trump said shocked the world. Every news agency ran with that when they knew damn good and well. And if they didn't, how you doing the first? You got to misspell that Killing because of trust and safety for YouTube. It's not me. But anyway, you got to be creative when you use words like that. My point is that the news agencies either knew daggone good and well that Trump said, I played the video, I don't know how many times, I'm not talking about the white supremacists. They should be condemned totally. They edited that out and acted like he never said it for years. That is inciting public hostility, okay? That's criminal. That's criminal. And we're talking major news corporations. And, okay, maybe there's some reporters that just don't do their job and believe it and repeat it. But the editors and the producers are responsible. And who put that speech under Joe Biden's nose knew what Trump actually said. It's illegal psychological warfare campaign. So, the kids demanded, if you don't, you've created hell for your children that didn't want to be here, have to live in, didn't want to be here, have to live in. I think everybody that's born, if they're raised with a parents that have a grateful heart, what an amazing thing the gift of life is. You got to enjoy it, every bit of it. And kids that are not enjoying life, who are the people influencing them not to enjoy their life? That's psychological abuse. Yeah, Melinda, he's going to start throwing a lot more temper tantrums. When no bummer gets thrown in the bus. Oh, Space Forces have the same logo. Gary says. I'll be darned. Well, yeah, Space Force is going to be putting out, going to be compiling a lot of these communications. I certainly believe that there will be a time, and I don't know how far off it is, and I hope I live to see it, that there is what we discussed. What was it? 3 8-hour-long broadcasts on every available receiver, I'll call it, around the world. Was it 2 days straight that show what's going on? So here we're getting into another theological. Is this a theological discussion? I asked you to misspell that word. Put in there one for I, so the algorithm doesn't keep you seeing you repeat that word. Okay? You're the one repeating a word that is not favorable to the algorithm. So, I don't know what you're talking about. As an adult, I could still enjoy life. Well, I want to enjoy life in a safe manner. And now my folks in the chats, I hope you make friends in the chats and don't type while I'm talking. While I'm answering you, don't type. Because that shows me you're just prattling and you don't care what I have to say. And this is my broadcast. I want to be friends. So you pay attention to what I'm saying to you. Okay? So here we go again. If you don't care if the children live in hell, then don't care if you find out I'm the devil. Well, I don't know about your syntax, your ability to codify, but now I'm getting ready to answer. If I see anything else pop up on the screen while I'm answering, you're out of here. You'll have to listen from afar. Very few creators interact with their chat people. I have talked before, one example, where Ronald Reagan, when he was dealing with Muammar Gaddafi, he used kind of a magic term. He called him the mad dog of the Middle East. You have people in this country that can be categorized as mad dogs. And with mad dogs, you can't take them to the vet. You can't train them to bring you the paper or sit and let you pet them or go fetch a stick or play with your kids. There's nothing you can do about a mad dog except one thing. And if you don't do that one thing, you're putting your family at risk, especially if it's got rabies. You're putting your family and the rest of the community at risk. You have people in authority have a duty to put down a mad dog. That's one example. So the deterrent force of executions are that they happen. If they don't happen, people say, hey, I'm not getting along in this world. I could deal with 3 hots and a cots. I can live an alternate lifestyle and have a relationship with a man in prison for the rest of my life and get fed. And I don't like a certain person. And I'm going to take him out. Well, that's one thing. It's another thing if you say, well, if you commit the ultimate crime by taking somebody's life like Luigi did, you will hang. How much you want to bet they'd think twice before they did it? So that now you can put in your response, thank you for listening to me, and we'll go on from there. Happy Friday, Robert. Yeah, I've talked about. No, I don't, Terry. I don't let them get under my skin. And it looked to me like they listened and let me have my say, and they can have their say. It's unfortunate that people have to, that governments and the military have to go to war. It's a Persian. It's unfortunate, but it's a necessary thing. As Jesus H. Christ, and don't get mad at me because H stands for holy, said, if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. He didn't say that not for nothing. So anyway, no, nobody wants war. As a matter of fact, the media narrative, I want to play you 2 clips with Trump, okay? Let me take this down. I'll play you 2 clips where he says, you guys are after me, you're trying to twist my words anyway. So here we go. Here. Wait till you hear the second one also. This is a very short clip when he was in the Oval Office.
If you look at what I said, I guess it was right, because I said I'd have it 4 to 6 weeks, and in 4 weeks we have totally defeated that military. So right now, I don't want to rush it because you guys are, trying to make us look as bad as possible. I don't want to rush it. I want to take my time. We have plenty of time, and I want to get a great deal. I want to get a deal where our nation and the world is safe from lunatics with nuclear weapons. Yes.
Yeah, he started off by saying, you all want to make things look bad, but I'm trying to keep the world safe from lunatics with nuclear weapons. Then this right here. He uses language he needs to use with these people because they're searching for something they can take off and run with over the weekend. What's the weekend story now? Okay? All quiet on the Gulf front. You might as well say, or Mideast front. And Trump is patient, and he's not destroying civilian infrastructure, and the Iranians are not doing attacks. And he knows that he can wait them out and use other pressures for now. But what does the press try to goad him into right here?
Would you use a nuclear weapon against Iran? You posted on Truth Social a few weeks ago.
We don't need it. Why do I need it? Why would a stupid question like that be asked? Why would I use a nuclear weapon when we've totally, in a very conventional way, decimated them without it? No, I wouldn't use it. A nuclear weapon should never be allowed to be used by anybody.
Yeah, nobody should use a nuclear weapon, especially with the dominance that we've shown in the situation. So they want people to be upset. They want people to feel that there's another way to do it. Well, nobody's done anything for 50 some years, and these people have been brutalizing not only their own citizens, but behind all the evil stuff that's been happening around the world with roadside bombs. And they right now they have most of the dingbat bureaucrats and people in, unfortunately, power that march right along with that drumbeat. They get their talking points and repeat them all over the country. I don't know, Sparky. I hadn't heard anything else. I'd like, if he wants to respond, it'd be fine. He's talking about, I have to take that one comment down over. He said a second time the KILL word, and I got to take that down because it's not to be mean. It's just not allowed over and over again. Use different words to get your thoughts across. But anyway, William Shatner, that's right. William Shatner went to was it Virginia, I believe, to a convention. He's 94 or 5 years old. I saw a clip of him down there. And he's looking pretty good for that age, my word. Okay, yeah, be nice to one another because you never know. We're told not to throw pearls before swine, but you never know who's listening. Who's listening to these talks that are generated by someone from the other side, and this person may get something out of it and appreciate the perspective, and change their thinking or change the way you look at things, and things change the way they look. So anyway, yeah, he's welcome to be, or she, I don't know, welcome to be here and maybe make some friends and look at things from a different perspective. I put that picture up of our video of Pope Leo swatting a fly, and I thought to myself, well, maybe he woke up in the middle of the night and say, why did I do that? That poor fly. I could have just said shoo, fly, shoo, but I ended its life a fly. I don't know. I'm just teasing, but something's going on there because I showed you where he went to African nations and said, make your own country better. Don't seek to leave your country, your culture. Well, then today, this video came out. Guess what he's doing? He's condemning what the mullahs are doing with the mass executions out in the streets.
I condemn all actions that are unjust. I condemn the taking of people's lives. I condemn capital punishment. I believe that human life is to be respected and that all people from conception to natural birth, their lives should be respected and protected. So when a regime, when a country takes decisions which takes away the lives of other people unjustly, then obviously that is something that should be condemned.
Yeah. Well, it's an effort. Hi, Sarkon. Is that how you say the name? And what's the old saying? Better late than never. So anyway, better late than never, right? So there's been a change. There's been some discussions, and how much of this stuff that's being disclosed worldwide? Zelensky's still out of Ukraine. Keep an eye on that. I think he's been exfiltrated. We could be very, very close to something happening. Big. Okay? So anyway, look here. How many does this make? Historic Queen's Church engulfed in flames. First Reformed church that was founded in 1839. You think that was an accident? I don't think it was an accident. Shadows of Notre Dame. And the story goes that Michelle was out on a boat with a glass of wine in her hand watching the church burn. Isn't that something? Here's a video that Trump posted. John Brennan, you're being plastered all over the place, and you're talking smack about Donald Trump. Okay. But here's what's being put all over the place about you and the ones you see in picture.
We knew Hillary created the dossier, and now we have proof that Barack was calling the shots and the documents to prove it.
Declassified documents revealing former CIA Director John Brennan briefed then-President Obama on Hillary Clinton's purported plan to smear then-candidate Trump in 2016, adding to what the National Intelligence Director has already declassified on this issue, and raising more questions tonight about how much more of this will come out before Election Day. Good evening, Mike.
Brett, good evening. These are handwritten notes from former CIA Director John Brennan, written according to a source familiar after Brennan briefed President Obama. At one point, Brennan writes, quote, approved by Hillary Clinton, a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by the Russian security service. The notes say on 28 of July, in the margin, Brennan writes POTUS, but that section of the notes are redacted. Then it says any evidence of collaboration between Trump campaign and Russia. The remainder of the notes are redacted, except in the margins where it says JC, Dennis, and Susan. That could be referring to former FBI Director James Comey, former Obama Chief of Staff Dennis McDonough, and former National Security Advisor Susan Rice. The CIA sent a memo to former FBI Director James Comey and Peter Strzok writing, quote, the following information is provided for the exclusive use of your Bureau for background investigative action or lead purposes as appropriate. One example the CIA includes, quote, an exchange redacted discussing U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's approval of a plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server. At a hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee last week, Comey was pressed on what he did with information provided by the CIA.
Did you open an investigation?
I don't know what that refers to. As I said earlier, that does not ring any bells with me when I read that.
You did not receive any investigative referral of this nature?
I don't remember it. I don't remember receiving anything that's described in that letter.
We knew Hillary created the dossier, and now we have proof that Barack was calling the shots and the documents to prove it.
Yeah, Brennan, when you get the President of the United States putting this kind of stuff up, you got your hands full, buddy. And everybody else that was in that video I just played, hi, Doc, how you doing? Yeah, it's things we've known for years. But the thing is that the average person doesn't. And we are not average. We are above average as far as keeping our ear to the ground, right, folks? Right, folks? So, yeah, Weston, nice to see you there on Kick. I'll put up my Truth Social handle, and you can message me on Truth Social if you want to talk to me about that. I don't do private DMs with people. Maybe, depending on what you're talking about, because my time is limited, my precious time. So maybe something could come of it. But anyway, nice to meet you, Doc. Thanks for coming aboard. So, yeah, let me go through again. Trump puts out such a prodigious amount of things. This was posted by Trump. I just got screen mark of the text. Steve Rambert at Barack Obama, I hope they arrest you before your grand opening of your war bunker in South Side of Chicago. You committed treason targeting the President of the United States with Hillary Clinton. It's time we prosecuted someone for treason and sent a message. How many times did you all hear me say, why do we let some of these people live for years in prison after what we did with the Rosenbergs, old Sparky, a husband and wife? Okay, why did we get away from that? And look what's happened. Oh, I forgot to talk about last night about that dope with Special Forces that put a bet and made a bunch of cash. He's in trouble, and the cash is gone. But anyway, maybe I'll get to that. Juliet Schwartz put up the skiff. Hillary Clinton funded, approved, and created the Steele dossier. Barack Obama called the shots, and Brennan's CIA did the dirty work. The evidence is clear. Treason was committed. This was reposted by the President of the United States. And I'm saying that because that word I was not allowed to say, but I can repeat things officially by the President of the United States. He cannot be censored. It was committed, and now they must pay, or they will do it again. Americans demand it. You know, and they have come a long way as far as letting people say stuff. But we still have to be careful. And then Trump, right after those posts, put this up. There he is, Donald J. Trump. Do I have my handle up there? There I am. That's the my logo, Mountain Man. Okay. See the logo? It's got Trump bat signal on it. Okay. Whoa. The Trump bat signal. That's me. So anyway, Trump put this up. Stop, USA Patriot. Stop telling us who broke the law and start telling us who was arrested. Ha ha ha. That's what we're all saying. Right, Doc? Tell us something we don't know. We want to see people getting arrested. And we will be seeing people get arrested. We're seeing the Navy getting cleared out. Here's Pete Hegseth, speaking of the Navy. He's calling out the press too. You know, and it may be that our justice system is not equipped to handle the people who are going to get charged with illegal psychological warfare campaigns, incitement of public hostility, spreading illegal leaks, all kinds of national security issues, because you have a mix and a blend of foreign services and services in the United States. It may be that the press is going to be handled via the military. I don't know. There's going to be a hodgepodge of different civilian and military trials.
Thank you. Michael Casey with O'Keefe Media Group. Earlier this week, James O'Keefe published a story on Department of Army Nuclear Chief Andrew Hugg, who revealed top secret national security information to a stranger he met on a dating app. Will you defer Mr. Hugg for termination and prosecution?
Yeah, he won't work here anymore.
And given the revelations,
it's an easy one.
Will any changes be made to the current anti-espionage training for all Department of War employees now, given this?
Well, we're always on the lookout for CI threats, any internal threats, anyone talking out of school about things they should not. We take leaking very seriously here, informally or formally, which is why some of the reporting done by some of the people in here is incredibly problematic. They're willing to publish things based on classified information that would potentially harm those in harm's way. And we think them doing so is incredibly irresponsible and unpatriotic. And it would encourage members of the press to think twice about the lives they're affecting when they publish things in their publications like the New York Times. Yes.
Yeah, so that case is specifically mentioned in New York Times. And it's not for nothing. So what's going to come of this, I don't know. This right here, we're going to have a show. Are they going to make it as big a show when they called Ollie North in to testify? Front page news on the Washington Post when they were trying to destroy Ronald Reagan's legacy when he was attempting to keep the communists out of Latin America. That's another story. But anyway, Jim Jordan demands SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, hand over communications with Biden administration. At no point did the SPLC inform its donors. Oh, you defrauded your donors? That their charitable donations might be used to pay leaders of violent hate groups. Yeah. That's just part of it. Part of what you're going to get nailed for. So anyway, let me see here. Is Donald Trump again? What we got going on here? The tariff money. Horrible and ridiculous United States Supreme Court decision on tariffs are now supposed to be given back $159 billion. Guess what? They tariffed us. They've been tariffing us for 100 years. Do we get our damn money back? No, the Supreme Court can't compel that. So we're supposed to be defenseless, according to the Supreme Court. It is a ridiculous decision. All they had to do was one little half sentence, that the United States does not have to pay back monies that were already paid. And our country would be $159 billion richer. That's almost as much or more than the Somalians stole. How much abuse can we take as a nation? Think of it. Just one half sentence, and we would have saved $159 billion. Couldn't they have done that for our nation? President Donald J. Trump. Hebrew Hammer, how you doing? Yeah, something's got to be done about that. Trump has given out hints that he's going to, he's like what he said, people giving weapons to Iran going to be tariffed 50% right off the bat. All right. I guess it's a national security issue, right? America always, the White House put this out with the bombers and the jets flying over the White House. Something to keep us fired up. You know, I didn't see that person that was in earlier talking about people that didn't ask to be living. How can you ask to be living if you were not even conceived? The miracle is conception. But here's a person that has a problem with other people living their lives. Accused widow kills 2 ex-husbands in one day. Why am I putting this up here? Because people are starting to justify their violence. Justify. Like the TV show Justified. And like Hassan Piker was saying, Luigi did what he did. He was justified because that guy was involved in a whatever. BS. Well, you can bet your rear end that this woman thinks she was justified. These 2 guys were probably like, man, I'm so glad I got away. But little did they know that Susan Avalon would come around. She's accused of fatally shooting both of her ex-boyfriends on the same day in Florida last December. Probably out back cooking hamburgers or laying on the couch. Who knows? Thinking, oh boy, here she comes. I guess I'll give her money or whatever. Authorities say that she KILL'd one man in Hillsborough County before driving to Manatee County, where she allegedly SHOT her second ex-husband. Investigators believe they were carried out in deliberate sequence, you think, across county lines. Prosecutors in Hillsborough County have since announced they intend to seek the big penalty, the death penalty, and it's deserved. And they should do it every bit as quickly, I've said many times before, as they did with Timothy McVeigh. And you watch how crimes like this will drop. Luigi, same thing. This furry freak that shot Charlie Kirk, wait till they find out if the Southern Poverty Law Center was involved with him getting messaging or, I mean, I don't know. They're definitely involved in Charlottesville. And the girl that lost her life, that lawyer that lost her life in Charlottesville, her family should sue Southern Poverty Law Center. That guy that went cuckoo when his car got surrounded. And I do remember, memory's faulty, but I remember her standing on his back bumper and banging on the back of his car. But still, he had no business doing what he did. And, yeah, they should sue them. And the people involved individually, sue them. Donald Trump put this up. Elon Musk reposted it. Exactly. What? Mike Lee. I'd love to keep the filibuster and make filibustering senators speak, just like the old days. That's how the filibuster is supposed to work, protecting robust debate in the Senate. It no longer does that. It now forestalls debate. Enforce the filibuster or nuke it. The status quo empowers Democrats. It most certainly does. Hopefully I have people that are on the left that are not in the comments but do pay attention. You never know who will have a light cut on. You never know. Lidl Lop, nice to meet you. Yeah, I talked about my back 40 last night, Gary. Back 40 feet. But anyway, so we're talking about the status quo. And I had a back and forth with a character that just wouldn't even listen. Talking about the redistricting in Virginia. And now we're finding out that Obama was behind it, elbow deep, and giving orders, like Fetterman was saying, breaking all tradition of ex-presidents. What in the world is going on here? Come on. And I'm sure his foreign interference is looking at more than breaking rules. But anyway, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, millions of dollars spent misrepresenting my position and President Obama's on this referendum. Virginia voters saw through it anyway. That's her position. They want to take a state almost 50-50. 6 Democrats to 5 Republicans and turn it 10-1. And how the media has got the damn nerve to act like that's not egregiously unfair and undemocratic. But they do it. But here's what I found pertaining to the states. Citizen Free Press put this up. Democrats claim to be the party of democracy. These are the states where we have 0 representatives in Congress. This is way before the attempt in Virginia. 9, let me count, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 states. And I got another list I'll show you. Talk about status quo empowering the Democrats. We get this stuff straightened out. They're finished. All these, Democrats, people who are classical liberals or whatever, they'll keep the party going. But they won't have to deal with all these lunatics. Look at that. Get a screenshot. New Hampshire, 48% Republican, no seats. It goes anywhere from 32 up to 48%. And none of them have a seat. 9 out of 50 states. But wait, there's more. There's more. Let me find it. There we go. Oh, this is page 2. Let me put page 1 up. I guess this one. Oh, no. I had it right the first time. Christine Aguirre, if you want to get the whole scoop, you want to go to her page and check it out. She's not hard to look at. However, it appears though redistricting in favor of Democrats while eliminating Republican representation appears to be a long-standing pattern with Democrats. So the question is, who really started this in the first place? Vermont, 1 Democrat, 0 Republicans. Massachusetts, 9 Democrats, 0 Republicans. Hawaii, I didn't see Hawaii on that list, did you? Remind me. 2-0, Connecticut, 5-0, Rhode Island, 2-0, on down the line. And what's this other one? How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, move. 6, that's 7, 8. That's 8 so far. 8 with no representation. And then this is, I forgot where I left off at. But anyway, here we're getting into lopsided representation. Maryland, 34% Republican, 7 Democrats to 1 Republican. So they've already got what they wanted to do was make Virginia another Maryland, right? DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. California, 38.33 Republican vote. And remember, folks, this is their count of the votes. There are a lot of Pedros and Abduls and whatever names you want to think of that can't even speak English that have been voting, had no business voting, and a lot of cemeteries holding a lot of voters. So these numbers are not even representative. But even if they were accurate, you have 42 Democrats to 8 Republicans. And nearly 40% reporting is Republican voters. Oregon, 5-1. Illinois, 14-3. Washington, 8-2. New Jersey, 9-3. So, there has to be something to straighten this out. We can't keep having it. Here's another video. Let me see this. Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah, Hawaii's not on there, is it? Yeah. So Hawaii, it is 10 states. 10 states where we got 0 Republican representation. We're all disenfranchised in 10 states. Unbelievable. Well, I'm trying to get that video of Obama to come up. What the heck? What the heck? Come here. Come here, you. All right, here we go. There we go. What is this? Another one that Trump put up or reposted. Where'd my chats go? Oh, there's everybody. Okay, here we go.
It should shake every single American in their shoes. I hate to say this, but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016. We must, absolutely must, hold every one of these criminals accountable for the crimes that they committed. They are the most heinous crimes committed in American history. James Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Biden was in the meeting in July 28th in the Oval Office. They briefed Barack Obama on Hillary Clinton's plan to, quote, tie Trump to Russia collusion lies. It consumed our national discourse for 5 years. It undermined a sitting duly elected president. It sabotaged administration. It framed a three-star general. It destroyed and ripped this country apart. We had a constitutional crisis, the likes of which I don't think any American can fully comprehend. It is atrocious, and every single one of them must be held accountable.
There you go. You're going to be a little nervous when you have the president posting stuff like this. So, yes, something is coming. People are, but, you know, you have the media being willfully blind. Willfully blind. But we're trying to take up the slack, right, folks? We're not going to keep having this stuff go on. So, for those of you watching the replay, at the 1:15 mark, I put a link in the description. The chats for Buy Me a Coffee, and I appreciate Robin going by. We're in the third week already. Here, do my boom here. Ka-boom! So anyway, Robin came in and went to buy me a coffee. Kabow, kabow. So in the last day of the week, which I'm going to count, say on into the third week, was Younger Gang, Norm, and Mike, and Bev. Pow, pow, pow. And I'm going to do no, I should do hearts for Miss Minister because you dropped a Moab, right? She dropped a Moab, so you get hearts. And I appreciate everybody that's helped out in the past. I had nicknames for my people, but some of my people don't like nicknames. But I think Gary is I can't use a nickname. So I used to say chairman of the board, but anyway, your past support is and always will be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much to everyone. And I'll put up my my postage stamp. Where is it? I'll have to move that thing where I can find it quick. Because every time I scroll down to find it, I got to look at Elizabeth Warren's face. I don't want to play her. I have a video of her. I can't find that postage stamp. Anyway, here's what I couldn't find the other night. Right here. 2 of them. Trump being patient, right? Victorious. Now, this is Hung Kao, the new head of the Navy, right? You better blow those ships up. That's what he's telling them. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Let me make that where you can. I didn't know I had the letter cut off. There you go, Sun Tzu, right? I wish I still had the one of Trump. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, maybe I already did. Trump Zoo. Move not unless you see an advantage. Use not your troops unless there's something to be gained. Fight not unless the position is critical. Isn't that exactly what Trump's doing right now? He's got all the pieces in place, and they're the ones who got to hope that Trump does something. Oh, I like this one too. Donald Trump posted this. Reposted. B. Bowden. Donald Trump posted this twice. When you see the guy who said you'll never be president again at your inauguration. Well, why would the 4th of July be great? Trump is going to go try to be positive. I think there's going to be big convictions and people getting their necks stretched after the 4th of July. I don't think he's going to go in on a morose note. And many people will be shown leniency if they give material assistance. That's always been the case. Here's another one that's going to get it. Act Blue. House committee demands testimony. You remember when Trump was giving a speech? He'd already been elected president. And who was it? May have been Doug Burgum. Came up to him and said, I think you're going to be really happy with what's going to come out about Act Blue. Act Blue is going to make Southern Poverty Law Center look like the Salvation Army out there ringing a bell, ding, 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 for quarters. Okay? Act Blue is going to be bigger than USAID. They want testimony from fundraising arm of Act Blue over suspicious donations. Regina Wallace-Jones, Chief Executive Officer. How long do you think it'd take before she folds to appear before testimony at a public hearing? Well, you know, I have a one article about a guy that worked for the Washington Post that checked out. Did you all hear about that? He corked off. Let me see if I can find it. Well, I'll come across it, I will. I don't remember his name right off the top of my head. Here's another one that's got to change her diapers and not sleeping very good. She skipped her own hearing as walls close in on fraud. You know, we have our 4th of July celebration. Some of these people, you know, public memory is very short. Have a trial, have a conviction, have them put behind bars, or have them sitting in jail while they're waiting to go on trial, or put an ankle monitor on them, let them wander around, do the trial after 4th of July. I don't know. So long as there's some kind of action going on, something's going to happen with her. No doubt. Here's another one right here. Do you think she looks happy with life? I didn't ask to be here. What a spiritually bankrupt individual. What happened with her? An 18-year-old woman was being held on a $10 million bond on Thursdays after authorities alleged she conspired with 2 men to attack a Texas synagogue and KILL as many JEWs as possible. The suspect, Angelina, Angel, right? Han Hicks of Lexington, North Carolina, was charged with felony conspiracy to commit red rum and felony conspiracy to commit assault with a deadly weapon. So, yeah, she's going to be gray-headed when she gets out. Gray-headed. Oh, there's a big thing about Southern Poverty Law Center. They got a spokesman going to come out and straighten everything out. Right here. The Southern Poverty Law Center is denying allegations they stage hate crimes and referring all questions to their spokesperson, Jussie Smollett. Yeah, there you go. Got a shot of that for your meta page. Let me see. Now, I haven't watched this yet. I was talking about how the bureaucrats all have the same narrative and marching orders they take from the mainstream media or from their inter-office communications or whatever. Iowa Democrat congressional candidate Christina Bohannon insults electorate. What do you think she's going to say? We're on stolen land? White rage? I don't know. We'll see. I hadn't heard it yet.
on its face right now, it sounds like it might prohibit certain kinds of implicit bias training. And I think that implicit bias is very real. It's proven in the scientific and social scientific literature. It is a real thing. And it's serious, and it's something that we need to teach our students about before they go out into the world to practice law or to do whatever they're going to do. So I am very, very concerned about that. I think that it is going to be very divisive if it's passed, and I think it's going to send a very bad message about Iowa, and that it's going to seem like we are kind of this backward state that doesn't understand that there are things like systemic racism and sexism.
Yeah, there you go. She's going to have trouble winning because of the systemic racism and white supremacy and all that crap. The Southern Poverty Law Center's BS, okay, along with everybody else involved in that. Weston, I on Kick. You're messaging me again. I addressed that earlier, and I said Truth Social and showed my icon earlier in the broadcast. So check that out. And also, I've been wanting to say I do read your messages that you give me. No, I'm talking to everybody now. Everybody that goes to buy me a coffee. And I appreciate all the encouragement and the messages I receive on Buy Me a Coffee. Giving me good vibes to go on, okay, to continue on. Your appreciation is appreciated. So anyway, I have no idea what this guy's talking about because I've watched so many videos. But I copied it for a reason, so let's see what's going on.
Senate Democrats are using unprecedented obstruction and use of the zombie filibuster in order to get their priorities. It's working well for them. You know, they got all the departments and agencies in the federal government funded that they like, but then somehow they refuse utterly to cooperate on any spending bill that would fund the Department of Homeland Security. So we're having to reinvent the wheel, go through a very elaborate process just to fund this one department whose success is material, indispensable to our national security and to President Trump's agenda. We're having to go through this process that actually takes weeks to complete just so we can pass it with a simple majority of votes. Here is the problem. All this is a symptom of our refusal to enforce the talking filibuster. If we were to enforce the talking filibuster, we could exhaust them and get to the point where they either provide us with the 60 votes we need, or they get lazy, they get sloppy, they exhaust themselves, and eventually we would find a way to get it passed. If we're willing to do that, great. It's probably the way we ought to do it. It protects debate to use the talking filibuster. But if we're not willing to use the talking filibuster, it's time to nuke it. Why? Look, this zombie filibuster thing that we're using, which is sort of the opposite of what the filibuster is supposed to do and supposed to be, not only is there obstruction with it, unprecedented of late, and causing all sorts of problems, but it's inuring disproportionately to the benefit of the Democrats. Not something we want to be doing in these rare and often fleeting moments when we've got Republican control of the Senate, of the House, and of the White House. So let's either enforce the talking filibuster or nuke the zombie filibuster. You can't have it both ways. Let's get this done. We will continue running around this like it's just on a hamster wheel until we fix the problem. I don't really care that much which. I'd rather enforce the talking filibuster, but if we're not willing to do the hard work of that, for the love of Pete, let's nuke it.
Well, a filibuster, traditional filibuster, is like Mr. Smith goes to Washington. You get up there and you have to speak and about your position in order to prevent a vote, which is a simple majority. And if you can keep speaking, you can delay the vote. But at some point, the vote will come. Now, if your words can change votes during your filibuster, that means you hold the podium in the Senate and you talk and talk and talk. That is what a filibuster traditionally was. They have changed it. The nickname is a zombie filibuster because they simply made a vote. Let's say we're filibustering, okay? And then we can all go have lunch and nobody's got to stand at a podium and talk. And as long as they say they're filibustering, the zombie filibuster, you need a 60-vote majority instead of a simple majority. So they're able to turn a traditionally majority rules Senate into somewhat of a supermajority and stop a great many things. So it's either get rid of the filibuster or return it back to a talking filibuster. And here, once again, if you're still, I don't know if you're jumping around to different sites, what's his name on Kick? Weston, NV. There it is. Trump bat signal, True Social. Hakeem Jeffries asked about wild fluctuations in the net worth of Ilhan Omar. Boy, hadn't he been making an idiot of himself with that filthy mouth. I won't even play some of the stuff. Just a crumb bum, somebody that doesn't deserve to be in the office, as most of them are that way.
It's good to see you. Just curious to get your thoughts on Ilhan Omar's financial disclosure. Does all of the scrutiny around that concern you at all? And does that warrant an official House ethics investigation?
That issue has not been brought to my attention, but we do know that Ilhan Omar, who works hard on behalf of the people that she represents in Minnesota, is constantly under attack by right-wing conspiracy theorists.
Well, what about her net worth going from $30 million to now under $100,000? Do you believe that's truly an accounting error, as she alluded to?
It's not an issue that I'm familiar with.
What about her winery that she is now dissolving from her financial disclosure?
We're working to stop this reckless war of choice in the Middle East, get the economy back on track, win this gerrymandering war that Donald Trump started that we're going to finish. It's not an issue that I've been locked in on up to date.
So all the gerrymandering is Donald Trump's fault, even after all the maps that I showed and all the games Obama's been playing. And Trump says one thing about Texas, and for years they gerrymandered all these states now, according to them. And we'll see if the media picks that up and runs with it like they do everything else. It's all Donald Trump's fault. Don't you know it's Donald Trump's fault? Ha! So, anyway, let me see who all's in here. Yes, Miss Minnesota, he is a dirtbag liar. Weston, there you are again. I just talked about that. I told you what to do. Justin, nice to see you. So some other people snuck in here. I saw K&S Cleanup. I saw you, K&S, and who else? Let me see. Who else popped in? Roland's here. Sweet day. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. That's a nice name to have. Sweet day. You should have been here when we had that person talking about people didn't ask to be born. It's a sweet day. Don't you know? Maybe that's why they got rid of Song of the South. Remember that song? I have these videos. Did you hear that this guy, Steve Hilton, the one that Trump endorsed for California governor, is 17 points in the lead? Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Hi, what? How you doing? He's 17 points in the lead. I guess these are his competitors. Do you think there might be an earthquake? And I don't mean the types of earthquakes they want in California. I'm talking a political earthquake in California. Here they are. Here's this guy, Steve Hilton, debating. I guess these are the other candidates. Who the hell's that with the white sneakers on? Maybe, I don't know. I guess if your feet feel better, well, I don't know.
Mr. Hilton, you said you were deeply honored to recently receive President Trump's endorsement. That's despite the fact that 62% of Californians disapprove of the job he is doing. Are those Californians wrong? You have 60 seconds.
One of the proudest days of my life was the day I became an American citizen. It happened in a ceremony right here in San Francisco. So it is a deep honor for me to be endorsed by the President of the United States. And here's the thing that's going to help every Californian when I'm governor, is that we will have a constructive relationship and partnership with the federal government, which would be the case, I would hope, for any party in that situation, so that we can make things better in California, work with the president and his administration to manage our forests better, to harvest the timber so we can build the single-family homes we need for our young families, to work to increase California energy production as he wants to do so we can lower gas prices, to fight the fraud in our government so we can cut spending and cut taxes, to work to enforce our immigration laws. In all these areas and more, it will benefit every Californian to have a governor who is a partner on these issues, Mr. Hilton, with the president and his team.
Well, that's the first time I ever really heard him talk. And, I hope Republicans take California. But I mean, somebody take him down to Alabama for a couple of months and get him to learn how to speak English. He's speaking proper English. What was this one Trump put up? Trump put this up the other day. I don't know who she is, but she's 100% correct. This is reposted by Donald J. Trump. I don't care what political party you are, you should be speaking up about this. She is right. Where are the feminists? Where is the Pope? Well, he just today came out. Where are the other world leaders? Where are the Democrats? Where is Kamala, the person you voted for? Why are you quiet? The Iranian regime is KILLing their people. Speak up. Crimes against humanity. And what she's talking about is this lady right here. And where's that person that I just asked him not to type while I was talking? And then it could type after I finished. They're gone. So you want to stop the KILLing? There are people out there that agree with you. Here she is.
Donald Trump is the only one helping these people in Iran. So Elizabeth Banks, this woman, Bita, is about to be gang raped and publicly executed, and so are 3 more women. And they have been doing this to many young people. Every single day, 1 or 2 public executions. So you're sitting there on your cushy couch talking about Kamala Harris. You claim to be a feminist. You claim to be a humanitarian. Where are you when the women need you? You are a fake. You are a hypocrite. You're of no help to anyone. So if you claim to be a feminist, you claim to be a humanitarian, you claim to be a good person, America, Iran isn't just a military war or peace in the Middle East or oil stabilization. This is a humanitarian issue. They are killing young people every single day. And the only one that has helped is President Trump.
The only one on a great many issues, I might add, is Donald Trump. Whoa. What in the heck? What the heck's going on? Let me get my studio. It's jumping around on me. Y'all can't see what's going on, but I hope I didn't get frozen out. I hope everybody can hear me. Hi, Robert. Let me see. Hold on. I'm having a problem. I've got a frozen screen. Frozen screen. My goodness. Maybe that'll unfreeze it as far as being able to reach my studio. But apparently not. What the heck am I going to do? I've got a frozen studio. Can you all hear me, I hope? It sounds, let me check my mic. Yeah, it's on. My mic is on. What is the problem here? Well, this is unusual. I've never had this problem before. Anyway, let me see what's going on in the chats. And I thank all the new people that came in. That I had a lot of people in tonight. And I don't know why I can't move anything on the screen. You all can hear me 5x5. That's great. I can't put up anything, any other displays. I have no answer for that. Let me see if I can do my special effects. Yes, I can. I can make a bird fly over. There we go. Maybe that'll break it loose. There's my hearts for Miss Mendersu. Not just Miss Mendersu. I give my hearts to everybody. Even people who get frustrated, don't answer questions and think that people don't want to be alive for some reason. Isn't life a wonderful thing? Even when the studio freezes up like it just has. Oh, everybody's trying to figure out who's older than who. That's right. Get ready. I really think something's happened. But we got to have, we need a psychological healing. A psychological healing in this country. So we have to avoid brutality. We want success. Okay? We want justice. We do want to see people being detained, and at some point, the Nuremberg trials were, I believe, a year, just under a year. I'll have to check that, how long they were. And I have reminded people, and I haven't done it in a long time, that the Nuremberg trials, over 200 American servicemen. Guess what happened to them? Short rope with a long drop. Okay? Our own servicemen who were abusive, okay, and violent, and broke the laws of war to the point where their life was forfeit. Over 200 American servicemen. So remember, that not a lot of people know that. But anyway, folks, Weston, I told you how to try to get a hold of me. And anyway, I don't know what to say. I keep repeating it. So, but anyway, folks, let me put this up. Let me see if this works, because I can't put new videos or posts up. Let me see. I'm going to put this up one more time. My Buy Me a Coffee link, where you can go by there. You don't have to do anything. You can look at it. You can be a follower on that. But True Social is where you can follow me, and I'm also on X, and I have a secret Telegram account which I do not. Very, very few people I deal with on there. You got to watch Telegram. All right, I'm getting everybody's ages here. Class of 80. Oh, talking about graduation. All right. I ain't telling nobody when I graduated. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I got in trouble. I don't know, folks. My screen's frozen. But anyway, what do I always say? I like to go out with a nice video, but I can't access it for some reason. But you all can hear me. Remember when I used to do the talking heads, just the head pulsing? I might do that in the future. I don't know. We'll see. we'll see. I enjoy those when I have a lot of deep things to talk about what's going on. And most of you know that big things are going on. And most of you knew that Bill Barr, in one of his last acts, was to reinstate multiple variants of the method of, and I'll say X3 accusation, just for trust and safety. And I went over earlier in the broadcast what can be done. They're doing that, as they say, not for nothing. Okay? And I tell you what, when people start understanding that, birds will sing. People will give material assistance to try to save their skin. But anyway, folks, once again, I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I can't play an outro video. I apologize for that. But I should be going live. I hope I feel better. I actually do, kind of just having fun and talking. So we'll see. So anyway, folks, if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I didn't, through the whole video, say give me a thumbs up. So make sure you do that too. So you all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.